All right, here we have jumpers, really nice send to the tunnel, and then really great connection coming out of the tunnel. Looking at your dog here through the uprights, really connecting with the dog, recognizing that coming out of the tunnel, the dog, it takes a moment for them to find you, and so that real strong connection is super important. You're able to really create these nice lines through this opening. Great job on this front cross, really getting over here to this side of the jump and still starting a front cross before the dog takes off. Here's step 1, 2, and you're getting out of your dog's way. 3, 4, really nicely done. Great job measuring your pace here for the rear cross. Rear crosses really have to be set up well in advance. And you do a good job in here, because you're planning the rear cross, of giving your dog a chance to catch up with you. Getting your dog set on the line and then putting that slight pressure. It's a little bit of an awkward rear cross because it's not quite a straight line to this jump. It's actually a slight turn away, but then an even greater turn after. And so your rear cross helps your dog find this jump, but then you also have to continue to drive forward for the turn after the jump, which is pretty far out there. Oh, okay, and in fact we get a problem with the dog. So I think the problem here is that the dog got this turn from the rear cross, and then this jump is so far out there. And so I think, especially with all of this space that you gained here, I think some sort of blind cross in here might have been the better option for you. It's a very difficult line. It's very, very subtle. And so when you handle it with the rear cross, you end up with too much of a turn right here. If you were to front cross, let's see, if you were going to front cross here, then you would have to really finish your front cross and drive hard all the way towards this jump. That's the one you'd have to concentrate on. Otherwise, you're likely to get your dog curling too much in towards you because you're on that side. Yeah, you try here to really drive for that other jump, but because of these wings, you end up having to go too much this way and not enough this way. And let's see what else might have been an option. I think a cross between these two, but it's going to be hard for you to get ahead of your dog at that point, like a blind cross there. I think probably your best option might have been, at this point, to really just run in this direction for the blind cross, knowing that your movement in this direction supports this jump and supports this jump. So I think at this point you just take off in this direction like this, and then I think, because you're not really moving very much in here. Of course, it's because you were planning the rear cross, but I think that you could have made it because your dog does this while you do this. Is a much, much shorter path for you. But this is the kind of cross where I think you don't really know if the dog's going to read it until you try it. Like I also wouldn't have been surprised if your dog had just gotten that far out jump, because your dog has a big stride and lands long. But it's just you've fallen too far behind at that point to support that jump. Okay, great job on the front after the weaves. And then here we have the landing side rear cross again. So we're letting the dog jump like this, even though the next jump is this, and putting pressure on the outside. So instead, I think this is one of those spots where you allow the dog to get ahead of you and you cross here to create this turn. You do have to get around this jump though. Let's see what's next. Okay, the end. That's the end. That's the last jump. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think I would replace that landing side rear cross with a rear cross between this jump and this jump to create this final turn.